Hey everybody, this is David with Sunrise Landscapes, and we're here today to talk about the connection of your irrigation system to the water meter and all the components that make up that system and how they operate. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we have is the water meter. It's typically in a gray box or a box with a metal lid. This is the actual attachment to the city water coming into your house. Okay, so we talked about the water meter. You have your shutoff valve for your house, and then you also have a shutoff valve. It's typically going to be in a little round green lidded box. This is your ball valve for your irrigation system. And so this is going to allow you to just cut the water off to just the irrigation system instead of the whole house. So if you have a leak in the irrigation system, your backflow, or anything like that, you can just find this ball valve and turn it 90 degrees. That's the off position. In line with the pipe would be the on position. The next component is the backflow assembly, and in this case we're using a double check assembly, and it goes in the ground. Sometimes you'll see a backflow assembly that is up by the house. It might be elevated above the ground. It's doing the same purpose, it's just a different style. We typically like to use these double check assemblies because they go in the ground. They're more insulated being in the ground, and we just don't have as many problems with them over the winter with having to winterize them or freezing or anything like that. So these are just easier for us as far as maintenance goes. In front of that backflow, there's typically going to be a Y strainer is what it's called. It just has a filter inside to filter out any contaminants. The backflow assembly will have handles on here as well where you could cut the water off to the system, but we typically like to just find this plastic ball valve here. It's just easier to deal with. Okay, so you might have another box after your backflow in the ground right by the water meter, and this is your master valve. This is essentially just keeping the water from being pressurized in the system downstream at all times. That way, if you do have a leak downstream, the master valve will keep that from leaking. So whenever your system turns on, your master valve turns on, allows the water to go to each of the individual section valves here. Okay, so we went over all the components of your irrigation system right around your water meter just to familiarize you with all those components and allow you to navigate your way through all these. There's typically going to be a lot of boxes around here. So we have the water meter. You're typically going to have a box for your cutoff for your house water, a ball valve for the cutoff for just the irrigation, your backflow device, and then maybe a master valve if that's installed in your system. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 979-393-8863.